Well, Michael, thanks for making the trip to Portland and for spending time with our group today. You've been here about 48 hours. Any thoughts about Portland and what's going on here and how we stack up against other cities that you've seen?
This is a very exciting time for Portland. There's no doubt about it. I think I took a look at the PDC website before I got here, and my major concern, or put me into a sense of wonderment, is this really happening? Because it's easy to have a great website. But after being here for a couple of days and walking around with Stephen Green and actually meeting business owners and meeting technical assistance providers and how they react to him as a representative of the PDC tells me things are happening. Yeah. There's no doubt about it. And so this movement that you have of putting feet on the street to go and meet with the entrepreneur, to go and meet with the small business person, to go and meet with the person running the local business association is actually working. I think it's because it's been proactive. I don't see that in other cities, including my own. Yeah. It's more of you have to find the person, and then that person's not necessarily connected. But what I experience is a PDC where people were focused on growing small businesses, and they were connectors, not just conveners. Actually, you need to talk to this person. I'll give you a call about that. Yes, we have money to replace the facade in front of your storefront. No, we don't have money if you need a seismic upgrade. Very specific, very pointed advice. So I think it's something Portland should really be proud of. The change is happening. It's going to happen here in a very, very positive way.
So you work with a lot of small businesses. You know, any common challenges, common pitfalls that you come across with your work with small businesses?
I think one of the things that I experienced here, like other places, is that there's often a part of the community that's feeling that they're not in front of the change, and they're trying to catch up to it. In this case, my impression is that it's the African American community that's feeling that a big change is happening and they're trying to catch up to it. But what I felt I met here today in particular was people that are really trying to be a part of the change and are working hard to be a part of the change. And they appreciated the part of my message that they felt acknowledged that they were catching up, but yet didn't let them off the hook. They're responsible. They're going to have to get caught up and they're going to have to get ahead of it. And other people are going to have to help them do it, but they can't wait on the help. It's really something that it's a leadership call for them to find out where the community is going and to maybe look at other communities that have moved in a similar direction and where's the opportunity to build a great business in that neighborhood, in the city, outside of the city, and so on, if that's what they desire.
So you just gave a great presentation to a room full of folks. What's the one nugget you would want to make sure everybody walks away from your presentation?
I think my hope is that people that are working in institutions would, the one nugget for them is don't waste the entrepreneur's time. Yeah. Talk straight about what it is that you need. That's the most helpful thing you can do. Being nice and courteous and other time-consuming processes actually don't help. So I hope that even if they're in big institutions, global banks, they can find a way themselves to say, I'm going to help, and the best way I could help is to be really efficient with the time. Secondly is to deliver straight talk about what it will take for someone to be successful with the institution. On the part of the entrepreneur, I think the takeaway is that the feelings that they have are valid. The experience that they had is real. They're not crazy. Yeah. Things are the way they are, and history hasn't always treated them great. But I would break that rearview mirror and stand on that history and try and propel myself forward and start thinking about what great products, great services that can I offer, the business market, the business response to greatness. Of course, the business doesn't respond because you are in the neighborhood, because you're a certain color. The market doesn't care about those things. It's about greatness. And I believe there's almost a spiritual thing that happens when you really focus on business, making your business great. Great things do happen. They absolutely do happen. And I'm not saying it's magical, but if you're running a business and it's not going that great, and you've done all that you can surrender and move on to something else. If you're not doing a good job, working hard, doing all that you can to run the business, and you move out of it, you'll be depressed for a decade. No therapist can work you out of that. So people owe it to themselves to focus on their business, and do all the things that we talked about that they have to do. Hope they can get the support from others, and hope the business works out. And if it doesn't, close up quickly, save a little money, and move on for the next business.
You touched on gentrifying markets in your presentation today. I'm wondering if you were to advise local businesses who are in neighborhoods that are gentrifying, what advice would you give to local businesses that are in neighborhoods going through that transition?
Number one is to look at the people who are moving into the neighborhood as customers. I would absolutely look at them as customers, and so you have to treat them spectacularly well. They're also marketing agents for you. You treat them spectacularly well, they're going to tell other people. So it's about business first, and putting some of the other stuff behind you, because it's just going to hurt your business. So that's number one. I think the second thing is gentrification is going on in every inner city in this country. Has been. This is nothing new. I would spend some time looking at cities that are a little further ahead in the movement, and look at what happens in those areas. Things very specifically happen around personal services, around delivery of items, around food, around entertainment, around childcare, around transportation. These are business opportunities that pop up, all done in a green local way, that are great businesses, great businesses. So I might be running a dry cleaners today because that's what I know and that's what my family's done. But frankly, there's another one down the street that's far cheaper, greener, and delivering and picking up items. Either I'm going to compete with them and beat them on price or beat them on quality, or I need to wind mine down and do something different. So I need some ideas on what else I can do with my skills to do something different. So there's a lot of money to be made as neighborhoods change. Neighborhoods have always changed in this country. It's not going to stop. This neighborhood looks one way today. It's going to look very different in 50 years. It's not going to stop. And so since we're talking about business, it's about how do you make money, how do you treat people great, and how do you strengthen your community while you're doing those things.
So you've worked with a lot of small businesses in a lot of cities. What role does an organization like PDC play in the process of helping small businesses and neighborhood businesses succeed?
I think keep doing exactly what you're doing. This transition from economic development being looked at through just a policy lens, but actually feeling that the way to do economic development, successful, thriving small businesses, is a critical element of that, which is the decision the PDC has clearly made, is the right one. It's absolutely the right one. And I've seen a lot of cities. What you have put together is the right thing. To be proactive and to make sure, number one, people know how to run a business. Yeah. You're putting a lot of energy into that. That's why I'm here. I'm very happy to be here. And then number two, making sure they have the capital, but in that order.
Right.
Make sure they know how to run the business, then get them the capital is the right order. And I've heard that since I've been here. Really
appreciate your time and your advice, and we look forward to putting your advice to work.
Okay, thanks. And I appreciate having me here. It's been fantastic. Thank you.
You're welcome.